Meghan Markle, former Royal X Suits actress, full-time brand, is making moves again. But this time, it's not a Vanity Fair cover or a glossy podcast drop. No, this one feels a little different, a little off. Because word on the street is that Meghan has picked up the phone, dialed into Calabasas, and reached out to none other than the Kardashians. And not for brunch. Not for some casual sisterhood bonding over lip kits and photo filters, but for help. Yeah, help. Let that sink in. The woman who once turned Buckingham Palace into her personal movie set is now allegedly pitching herself to the queens of reality TV. And not just pitching a show, she's pitching herself. That alone tells you how far the vibe has shifted. A few years ago, Meghan's name alone could crash a website. She was the headline, the moment, the symbol of a modern monarchy. Or at least that's what they sold us. But Hollywood doesn't run on fairy tales. It runs on relevance, on engagement. And lately, Meghan's been losing both. Netflix cut ties, Spotify pulled the plug, the press ruthless. One minute she's the voice of a new era, and the next she's just another headline people scroll past. That's why this Kardashian move matters. It's not just some casual celebrity collab, it's a strategic SOS. Because here's what Meghan's banking on, that the Kardashians, those masters of reinvention, scandal, and monetized chaos, can offer her a ladder backup, maybe a feature on Hulu, maybe a docuseries where she reclaims her image, maybe a rebrand so powerful that the internet forgets the fly on the comeback. That's the fantasy. But the reality, that's messier. See, the Kardashians don't just give platform, they own them. And they know when someone's coming with an agenda. Meghan's not exactly subtle. Her career needs a jumpstart, and she's betting that Kim, Kris, or Khloe can provide the outlet she can't create on her own. But this isn't 2018 anymore. People don't swoon just because you wore a crown once. Now, this wouldn't be wild if Meghan had spent the last couple years laying low, building quietly, and then popped back out with something fresh. But she didn't. She went big, loud, and royal, expose a level dramatic. And when that fizzled, she went silent. Then, suddenly, bam! Here she is allegedly making calls to the Kardashian camp, hoping for a shot. It's not about friendship, it's about clout. That's the game Meghan's playing. She knows what the Kardashians represent: media powerhouses, unshakable relevance, and the rare ability to flip even the worst headlines into brand gold. If anyone could help her flip the narrative, it's them. But that's also why this is risky, because you don't approach the Kardashians without a plan. And you definitely don't approach them unless you're bringing something to the table. And right now, Meghan's offerings are looking thin. Her show's underperformed, her podcast didn't last, and her PR machine is sputtering. So unless she's sitting on some wild, never-before-told secret that can carry an entire season, the Kardashians might not bite, or worse, they might use her attempt for their own storyline. It's a tightrope walk. If the Kardashians accept, Meghan gets another chance to prove she's still got it. If they don't, she just looks like another celebrity grasping for attention. And let's be real, Hollywood loves a comeback, but it hates desperation. The clock's ticking. The question isn't whether Meghan can stay in the spotlight. The real question is whether she can survive it. Kim Kardashian isn't easily impressed. She's not picking up the phone just because your name rings bells in old British tabloids. Her world runs on influence, numbers, and impact. Meghan calling her isn't just another celebrity reaching out, it's a calculation. And Kim knows it. She's seen this move before dozens of times. Fame fades, doors close, and suddenly everyone wants a piece of the Kardashian glow-up machine. The difference is, Meghan's not some influencer trying to launch a perfume. She's royalty, kind of. And that makes the ask heavier. Kris Jenner, of course, sees it instantly. The matriarch behind the empire, the woman who turned family drama into billion-dollar branding. This isn't her first strategic request. She probably listened to Meghan's pitch with a straight face, nodding politely while already calculating the optics, hoping Meghan could be brilliant. Or it could be a PR nightmare. Because let's be honest, Meghan comes with baggage. A lot of it. She's not the neutral, glamorous figure she once was. She's polarizing. There's a segment of the public that sees her as brave, outspoken, misunderstood, and then there's the rest who think she's manipulative, out of touch, and obsessed with controlling the narrative. Either way, she attracts heat. The Kardashians know how to handle heat, but they also know when someone else's fire threatens to burn their house down. Behind the scenes, there's probably hesitation. Sure, Meghan offers intrigue, maybe even headlines, but what does she offer long-term? That's where things get tricky. Because right now, Meghan's not selling a brand, she's selling a redemption arc. And Hollywood only buys those when the story feels earned, authentic, and tied to something people actually want to watch. A show about Meghan trying to rebuild her empire. That's compelling if it's raw, honest, and self-aware. But Meghan's public image has never leaned into vulnerability. It leans into perfection. And perfection doesn't trend. Flaws do. Meanwhile, Meghan's probably banking on the idea that her royal past still holds weight, that her name still has enough shine to attract attention. But in the Kardashian world, past titles mean nothing. What matters is content. What matters is engagement. Kim didn't build an empire by being polite. She built it by knowing how to market every moment, every photo, every heartbreak. If Meghan wants in, she'll need to play by those rules. That means giving up control. That means getting uncomfortable. The other problem, timing. Timing. The Kardashians aren't in a desperate era. They're not hunting for fresh faces to boost ratings. They've got their hands full with brand deals, kids, and personal dramas that fuel their media machine. Inviting Meghan into that mix could upset a balance they've worked hard to maintain. There's a reason they've never collaborated with anyone from the royal orbit before. It's unpredictable. Still, they're not stupid. They see the value in controversy. If Meghan's pitch is sharp enough, if she brings something juicy, exclusive, or potentially viral, they might consider it. Not because they believe in her, but because they believe in the content. And Meghan, whether she likes it or not, is content now. The power dynamic is completely reversed. Meghan used to be the one with the aura, the global fascination. Now she's chasing it. And the Kardashians, they're the gatekeepers. Whether or not they open that gate depends entirely on what Meghan's really offering. If it's just her name and a script, that's not enough. But if it's access, drama, or reinvention, that's a conversation worth having. Hollywood doesn't care about what you were. It only cares about what you are right now. And Meghan Markle, she's caught in that brutal space between legacy and relevance. The crown gave her visibility, but it didn't guarantee longevity. That's why every move she makes now feels urgent, strategic, sometimes desperate. She's no longer protected by palace walls or public goodwill. She's out here on her own, trying to swim in waters where sharks have been circling for decades. That's what makes the Kardashian angle so sharp. It's not just about fame, it's about survival. The Kardashians didn't build their empire on luck. They built it on adaptability. They turned divorce, sex tapes, feuds, and failed relationships into watchable, profitable spectacle. Meghan, on the other hand, has tried to curate her image so tightly that nothing real has ever leaked out. But that tight grip has backfired. Audiences today don't want polish, they want raw. They want mess. They want to feel like they're getting the unfiltered truth. So when Meghan makes this pitch, when she asks to be part of the Kardashian machine, it's not just a collaboration. It's an admission, a signal that she knows her current strategy isn't working, that her controlled narrative isn't cutting it, and that she needs help from the masters of reality-driven relevance to stay in the game. That takes guts, but it also takes humility. And humility hasn't exactly been Meghan's brand. The irony is brutal. For years, she ran from the chaos. She said no to the tabloids, the paparazzi, the headlines. She wanted her own space, her own voice, her own version of the story. Now, she's knocking on the door of a family that made chaos their currency, and she's hoping they'll let her in, not as a curiosity, but as a collaborator. But this isn't charity. If the Kardashians do say yes, it won't be to save her. It'll be because they see value in the mess, because they know that watching Meghan try to rebuild her Hollywood identity under their spotlight could be ratings gold, especially if she's willing to let go of the filters. If she's willing to talk, really talk about the royals, about the press, about the failures, if she's ready to stop defending and start revealing, that's the crossroads she's standing at. Reinvention or rejection, transparency or another tumble into obscurity, the cameras are rolling, even if the show hasn't started, and the audience, they're watching closely, not because they're rooting for her, but because they're curious. They want to see if the Duchess can actually do Hollywood, or if she just thought she could. Behind all the PR, the designer outfits, and the photo ops is someone who knows the clock is ticking. Meghan may still have some cards left to play, but they're not as shiny as they used to be. If this Kardashian gambit fails, there might not be another shot. No more comebacks, no more soft landings, just silence. But if she pulls it off, if she manages to convince the Kardashians to give her space to let her tell a new story and actually deliver something that people want to see, then she rewrites her narrative entirely. She becomes the woman who fell from grace, adapted, and fought her way back into the spotlight. Not through titles, not through fairy tales, but through hustle. That's what this is really about. Meghan doesn't want a crown anymore. She wants control. And in Hollywood, control is earned through relevance, through output, through risk. This move, it's the biggest risk she's ever taken. Now she just has to hope it pays off, because if it doesn't, there won't be a fourth.